There's a loneliness that doesn't come from being alone. It's not the quiet of an empty room or the absence of voices in a solitary moment. It's a deeper, more insidious kind of isolation. One that creeps in when you're surrounded by people who rely on you, depend on you, and turn to you in their moments of need, but never pause to ask if you're okay. It's the loneliness of always being the reliable one, the steady hand, the calm voice, the fixer who never flakes, never breaks, and never asks for more than a fleeting thank you, if even that. This loneliness is a paradox. You are needed, valued, and often praised, yet you feel unseen. You become the person others orbit around, a sun that never burns out, an anchor that never drifts. Your role is clear. You are the constant, the unshakable foundation upon which others build their lives. But somewhere along the way, you learn a painful truth. Your value is tied to your utility. Your worth is measured by how much you can carry, how little you complain, and how seamlessly you hold everything together. To be reliable is to be low maintenance, uncomplaining, and endlessly capable. But it's also to become invisible in your own needs. The cost of constancy. You don't become the reliable one by accident. It's a role you grow into, often without realizing it. Maybe it started in childhood, when you learned that love could be earned by being useful. Perhaps you were the sibling who mediated fights, the child who never caused trouble, or the student who always had their homework done. You became the one who could be counted on, and that reliability became your currency, a way to secure belonging, to feel safe, to prove your worth. You didn't do it for praise or recognition. You did it because it worked. Being dependable made you feel like you mattered. But no one tells you about the cost. No one warns you that when you're always the reliable one, your own needs become inconvenient. Your pain becomes an afterthought. Your exhaustion unimaginable. You build a reputation for having it all together, and then you find yourself trapped by it. People don't mean to overlook you. They just don't think they have to look. You've trained them, without meaning to, that you're always fine. You've shown up, solved problems, and carried the load so consistently that your strength becomes their assumption. Your resilience becomes their expectation. And so, your struggles go unnoticed. Your quiet moments of unraveling are dismissed because they don't fit the narrative of who you are. When the strong one needs strength, when the reliable one needs rescuing, when the steady one starts to shake, the response is often silence. People don't know how to handle your vulnerability because they were never asked to. They don't mean harm. They just never thought to look beneath the surface. The more you carry, the more people assume you can carry. The more you manage, the more invisible your struggles become. You become a fixture in their lives, a dependable machine, not a person with limits, fears, and needs of their own. This dynamic plays out in countless ways. It's in the friend who calls you at midnight to vent, but never asks how you're holding up. It's in the colleague who leans on you to pick up their slack, but doesn't notice the bags under your eyes. It's in the family member who expects you to plan every gathering, solve every crisis, and keep everyone together, while your own milestones pass without fanfare. It's in the cheerful texts that say, "You're amazing. You've got this," when what you really need is someone to say, "I see you. You don't have to be amazing today." The loneliness of being the reliable one is most acute in these moments. When you swallow your tears because you don't want to make it about you. When you lie awake wondering if anyone would notice if you stopped being strong for just 1 second. It's in the birthdays remembered late, the crises navigated alone, the heavy days when you force a smile because you know no one is prepared to handle your sadness. You've become so good at performing strength that your vulnerability feels like a betrayal of yourself, of others, of the role you've played for so long. The mask of reliability becomes a mask, one so well fitted that you sometimes forget you're wearing it. You show up, you solve, you shine, and then you go home and collapse, not from the effort of doing, but from the ache of not being seen beyond what you do. You wonder when it happened, when being dependable turned into being disposable the moment you couldn't perform. You wonder why being loved for who you are feels so much rarer than being needed for what you provide. This question cuts deep. If I stopped being useful, would I still be wanted? If I stopped being the strong one, would anyone stay? It's a brutal question, and it doesn't have easy answers. The fear of being unlovable outside your role as the reliable one can keep you trapped in a cycle of overfunctioning. You keep giving, keep carrying, keep performing, not because you want to, but because you're afraid of what might happen if you stop. You're afraid that your worth is tied to your output, that your place in people's lives depends on your ability to keep showing up. And so, you begin to wonder if you're even allowed to be messy, allowed to be unsure, allowed to need. The idea of admitting your own limitations feels like a rebellion against everything you've built. It feels like weakness, like letting everyone down. But the truth is, it's none of those things. It's honesty, it's humanity, it's healing. The myth of the unbreakable. The greatest lie you've been told, or perhaps told yourself, is that you were meant to carry it all alone. You were never meant to be the unbreakable one, the unshakable one, the one who always says, "I'm fine," even when you're crumbling inside. You were meant to be held too. You were meant to be asked, not just tasked. You were meant to be loved in your weakness as fiercely as you are respected in your strength. You are not a machine. You are not a lifeboat. You are a human being with all the complexities and frailties that come with it. You deserve the same grace you so freely extend to others. You deserve to be seen, not just for what you do, but for who you are. And yet, the world rarely makes this easy. Society celebrates the reliable ones until they falter. It praises the strong ones until they need. It rewards the givers until they have nothing left to give. Breaking free from this cycle requires a radical act of courage, admitting that you're tired, that you're lonely, that you need something more than what you're getting. It feels terrifying, like stepping off a cliff without knowing if anyone will catch you. But it's the first step toward reclaiming your humanity. It's the first step toward building relationships that are reciprocal, not transactional. The courage to be human to the reliable ones. You are allowed to put the load down. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to be first sometimes, not always last. You are allowed to prioritize your peace over other people's convenience. You are allowed to exist, not as a support system, not as a backup plan, not as an endless well of giving, but as a person who deserves care just as much as they give it. This doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities or becoming someone you're not. It means recognizing that your worth is not contingent on your output. It means giving yourself permission to need, to rest, to be human. It means trusting that the people who truly love you, the ones who deserve to stay, will not flinch at your needs. They will not punish you for being vulnerable. They will lean in closer, not pull away. And if some people can only love you when you're carrying everything for them, that's not love. That's dependency disguised as devotion. You deserve better. You deserve relationships that are built on mutual care, not one-sided sacrifice. You deserve to be seen, not just for what you provide, but for who you are when the mask comes off. The reckoning and the rebuilding. There will be days when you fear that if you stop overfunctioning, Everything will fall apart. And the truth is, some things might. Some relationships might shift. Some people might leave. But this is not failure. It's clarity. The ones who stay, the ones who step up when you step back, are the ones you can build a real life with. The ones who meet you in your vulnerability are the ones who deserve to share in your strength. This reckoning is painful but necessary. It's a process of unlearning the belief that your worth is tied to your utility. It's a process of rediscovering your own voice, your own needs, your own right to take up space. It's a process of building a life where you are not just the reliable one, but the loved one, the cared for one, the one who is held as fiercely as they hold others. You do not have to perform your worthiness. You do not have to earn your belonging. You are not only valuable when you are giving. You are not only lovable when you are useful. You are enough, even when you are tired, even when you are empty, even when you need. Especially then, the promise of being seen. One day, you will look around and realize that you are surrounded not by people who use you, but by people who see you. Not by people who expect from you, but by people who care for you without expectation. You will find the ones who ask, "How are you, really?" and mean it. You will find the ones who show up, not because they need something, but because they want to be there for you. You will find the ones who remind you that needing is not a weakness, but a reminder that you were never meant to survive alone. On that day, you will finally understand. Being reliable was never the problem. Being alone in it was. You were never meant to carry everything by yourself. You were meant to be part of a web of care, where strength is shared, where burdens are lifted together, where love is given without condition. You deserve to be held too, not because you earned it, not because you proved yourself, but simply because you are human. And humans were never built to carry everything alone.